Hello, 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 everyone. It is my live on Thursday night, and today I am with Ink Road Stamps. I'm going to be doing 2 cards today, utilizing their whatever from my favorite movie, or inspired from one of my favorite movies, which is Clueless. It's pop culture this week, or this month, and this is our last one in the series. We've done Friends, we've done Grease, we've done, now we're doing Clueless, we've done Legally Blonde, we've done Golden Girls, so now we're doing this. And I'm going to be utilizing this really great die set, and it's also by Ink Road Stamps, and it comes with these dies that are squares and rectangles, and you put it on your paper, and you die cut it, and then it leaves a really nice stitched edge, or you can get it straight, I guess, I don't know. And so you can really do some page mapping. So this is super cool. So I've already gone ahead and just gotten my paper ready for this, and so I'm going to be using the negative and the positive space of these that I cut out for this card. So let me go ahead and show you what that is. I am also using some Ken Oliver color burst today. So this is what I created for one of the card bases, and then of course I'm going to be using the negative pieces for the other card base, and I'm going to be working on a white card base and a yellow card base. The yellow card base is going to be with this one, and the white is going to be with the one we're going to work on now, just because it is color burst and I do want to let it just set up a little bit before we put this card together. So we're going to kind of work backwards. We're going to start with the last card, go to our first card, and then end with the last card. So I have some really great watercolor paper here. Any kind of heavy duty watercolor paper will do. I believe this one is Ken Oliver's, and the colors that I'm going to use are going to be crimson and then also lemon yellow. It's super important when you are using any kind of water base medium that you respect your color families, or else you're going to end up with mud, unless you are working with purple. If you are working with purple, you can only use that with a blue or a red. You cannot mix that with a green or a yellow. You will always end up with mud. Diane Reevely calls it the color of sin, and I understand why. So if you're using purple and you don't understand why you're getting mud, if you're using like a pink and an orange, it's because of the purple. So you have to keep that by itself. And then I'm going to put in some metallic coral as well. These are liquid metals. So what I like to do when I use my color burst is I actually like to go ahead and just spray the whole thing down with a light mist of water. And what this does is it allows the color to start to burst, and it keeps it all in one place. Sometimes when you go back in to lay your color out, you will get a little bit of, it'll blow off, and this will just take away from blowing off. So I really like it, and my lemon is always a little bit more challenging to get out. And then I'm going to go in with my crimson, and a little bit of color burst usually goes a long way. All right, and so from here I'm going to hit it again with some water, and I'm going to make it move some more, and I'm going to just take something to hold it down like so, and then you just hit it until you like the movement on it. And I kind of like to push it down in the middle, let it do its little magic. And then from here, I want to go in and add my metallic coral. And again, I'll hit it with some water, possibly. And this is just a beautiful orange. Look how pretty that is. It sparkles. I love it. All right, and then down here on that side, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's not so, there's not much going on down there. So I want to add in a little bit of yellow down on that. Okay, I totally just put the cap in my mouth. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to hit it. And then from here, you can start to pick up this color with a paper towel if you want, or you can start to just move it around with your heat gun. And so I'm going to move it around because I kind of like that vibrancy, but I may have to go along the edges and just pick that up where it's pooling, which is normal. So I'm just going to push it around with my air. Okay, so I really like how that looks. I am happy with that. I'm going to set it aside. Actually, I'm going to wipe the back down. And I'm going to let it dry because it definitely needs to set up before we start to put this card together. So I'm going to hit it one more time with the heat. But before I do that, I do just want to go in and wipe up my Ken Oliver splat mat. And I do have links provided down below. I know that Blitzy carries this whole line by Ken Oliver, and it's relatively inexpensive. So does scrapbook.com. So you can check those out too. But I would recommend hitting Blitzy first. Use that affiliated link down there. That helps me out, helps them know that I'm showing you guys stuff. And I also got a little bit of a kickback with no additional cost to you. All right, I just had to say that. Okay, I'm done with my infomercial. Now you're always going to want to flip over your wet substrate to dry the back because the water does seep up and go to the underside. So you want to hit that too. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's pretty. It's going to be perfect with what we want to do. I'm going to go ahead and just set that aside. Give my mat another wipe down real quick. And then we're going to go on to the first card. And we're going to lay that out. And I'm going to be using some Catherine Puller ink on the background. And also some archival, just the archival black ink. I just love that archival. The little minis that I have are just wonderful. So for this one, what you want to do is you want to line up your how it's going to lay on your card. So you could use some purple tape or some washi tape or something like that. So I'm just going to line it up because that's about where I want it. And I'm going to be using the stamp. So I want to use my whatever stamp. And I love the line, I'm not a prude, I'm just highly selective. Like that's so me. I'm not a prude, I'm just highly selective. When my friends and I were watching it, my mom saw the movie, she's like, oh my God, that's you, you're highly selective. So it's just funny. So anyway, I'm going to just dump my sentiment right in there like so. Make sure it fits, line it up. And again, I'm going to be using just a black ink on this because I'm going to do something to that card base that I've already pre-cut. And then I'm going to pick it up with my pad. If you do notice, since this is a regular cling foam clear stamp, I do have this on a foam pad. You can get like those craft sheets from the children's section of your craft store to add some cushion if you want. This I think is a Darris one I got, and I cut it down. I think it was like $8, and I cut it down into 6 little pieces. But any kind of foam will work to do this. And what it does is it just allows for a nice cushion and a nice crisp stamped image, which is what you want for this. Now I'm going to go ahead and just flip this over and use the other side of it. I'm not going to try to reload my stamp right away. simply because I'll lose them. So I just reuse the blocks over and over again. All right, so I'm not a prude. I'm just highly selective. That little line's going to go up in this one. Again, I'm going to use that black ink. Like so. And there is some texture when I stamp this out because I am using a textured cardstock base on it. So that's, you know, so if you can tell, there's some texture in that as well. If you want to get a crisper image, use a MISTI or a platform of some sort, and that you can re-stamp it until you get the crispness of your liking. Now, I got a little bit off on that, and it kind of stamped over, but we're just going to roll with it because that happens when you're live. Doesn't always work, man. All right, but it'll be fine. We won't even worry about it. Learn from my mistakes as we go, right? All right, and then this one I'm going to do the awesome hat. I love this little hat. I think it's so cute. And then again on the black, and then I'm going to do just a background on that. Okay, so now that I've lined that up and I have that pretty much all figured out, we're going to go ahead and do a really colorful little scene here, a kind of a collage of different pictures from the whatever set. So I'm going to set this aside for now, and we're going to work on this. And I like to work like this because I am left-handed. All right, so I want to take out of my little Catherine Puller minis. I think I'm going to start with, let's see here. It helps if I move around things. Let me start with the perfume bottle, and we'll do that in fuchsia, the flirty fuchsia. And I'm just gonna make a bunch of random stamps of it. And with Catherine Puller ink, it's just literally some love taps down there. And that's all you need. Oh, you guys, the Ink Road stamp set, if you use my shop link that I've provided for you, you can get 15% off of your first order. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, and I do go off the paper like that simply because I just think it just is more pleasing to the eye. And then next up, let's go ahead and do the little pin. I love the fluffy little pin. Probably why I have an obsession with pins today is because of this movie. And I'm going to do party dress for the pin. So again, we're just going to go over in a random order. Like so, and I'm trying to put down, I think that 5 images is a really, with all the images that I'm using on this, is a really good number. All right, and then from here, I want to use the flip phone, y'all, the flip phone. Remember the flip phone? We thought we were so in. You know that you are going back. And that's what like the rich people had back then, was the flip phone. So crazy. And I'm going to use the tiara for this one. Just seems fitting. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to finish off with the hanger, and I'm going to use the hanger with the something blue. And then we will assemble our card. First card and the second card will actually come together really quick. 2, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so our background is done. Now it's just assembling, and we are going to put this on Pop Dots because I love the dimension that a Pop Dot adds. So I'm going to set this aside, and let's get our card out again. And I'm just using the Scrapbook Adhesive 3L Pop Dots because I love how they go on. They're really nice depth to them, and the sticky pads come off so easy, which just make me so happy. And I have some of, these are the thins. I don't want the thins. I want the regulars. I mean, if I started off with the regulars, that would be okay, but I didn't start with the regulars. So let's see here if I have some more of the smaller ones. I don't. That's okay. We'll just do it like this. See how easy that pops off? Like the cheap ones, I've tried to save money and buy the cheap ones at Hobby Lobby, and just not as good. All right, and then we're just gonna line this on up over like so. And then I have some really beautiful, I love these clear things from Ink Road, you guys, these clear gems. Oh, they're so cool. So I'm just going to pop a couple of these on just to, give it a little bit of something. And I don't like to do more than like 7. I like to do like 3 or 5, but I don't like to do more than 7. So we're going to do 5 on this one. But it seems perfect with, with her, with Cher, because she definitely is a Beverly Hills royalty, or so she thinks. But she has a good heart, and she's not like your typical. I just like that they portrayed her the way that they did. They made her kind of, sweet. And back then, that wasn't always how the privileged lived. They were not always portrayed as sweet as she was, though she was, a little bit of an airhead, but whatever. I don't know. It was a good movie. I'm probably overthinking it and sticking my foot in my mouth. I did that today. Today at dinner time, I've been cooking a lot of chicken on the bone, and my youngest is having a hard time eating it. So my husband's like, next time do like chicken breasts, and I'm like, I can't, because the chicken totally cooks different on the bone because the bone gets hot. And it makes the chicken, really tasty and delicious. And I said, and we can't raise a kid who doesn't know how to eat chicken off the bone. And then there's my daughter who's sitting across from me, and she's a vegetarian, and she's like, really? I'm like, oh, sorry. So I have been sticking my foot in my mouth left and right today. You would not even believe it. All right, there we go. That is a cute little finished card. So that's card number 1. And then I've already scored it down the middle. And so let's go ahead and do our card number 2. Oop, I got a little bit ambitious there. Let's do card number 2. So I'm going to do that one on just this white cardstock. And this is going to come together relatively quickly. I have to stamp one more image. I need 3 images on this. And I'm going to be using the... Oh, you're a virgin who can't drive. Oh, yes, honey, yes. You're a virgin who can't drive. And then she responds with, that was way harsh. So we're going to be using the that was way harsh and you're a virgin who can't drive. And then the little, I think we'll use this one. So remember how I said that at the end is when I put everything back? I totally lied because I'm doing it right now. All right. So, oh, and I also like, oh my God, I'm totally bugging. You're a virgin who can't drive. That's going to be one of my sentiments. And then that was way harsh because that's her response. Oh, and for this one, oh yes, I have to do a little trick on this one to make it fit. Whenever you don't have a stamp, whenever you have a stamp that doesn't fit, don't fret. Because you can totally make it work. So this is going to go on that watercolor background I created. And I'm going to do You're a Virgin Who Can't Drive on this. And that's going to be in Flirty Fuchsia. So it should line up fairly well. Yep, it does. It lines up good. So this is just that inside space of my square. Nothing goes to waste. Everything. Whenever I use my square die cut, I always, always, always create 2 cards because why not? You know. So, okay, so here's this one. You're a virgin who can't drive. And then for this one, that was way harsh. I am actually, wrong one, going to ink up half of it and then put that on the top and then ink up the other half of it and put that one on the bottom off centered. So I have to take this off because I can't see through it quite so well. And I'm just going to do, that was up here, way harsh down here. So I'm just going to be real careful as I ink this up, because I just want to ink up those first 2 words and do that in the top like so. All right. And then I do need to clean it because I don't want that to transfer over on the bottom. And then we're going to do way harsh on the bottom. And again, I'm being really careful just to get the way harsh. There we go. Okay, let me set that off to the side and see, I accidentally inked up some of that S and it shows through. The joys of life. I can't stop. I have to keep going. All right, so from here, I want to put the little perfume bottle. And for this one, I'm going to actually use Tiki Torch for this. All right. There we go. All right. So now my pieces are pretty much done. I do need to go through and I just want to ink the edges up a bit just to give them a little bit more definition. I like an inked edge on something like this. I love to use these. I don't like to ink my edges with the Catherine Pooler inks because they're just too juicy. And I'm just going to use the Spice Marmalade because again, my background pieces on this are, it's that beautiful orange and or the coral and yellow. So I want to make sure that it all kind of matches. Ooh, I'm doing good on time too because I always want to be done within a half an hour because nobody wants to watch more than a half an hour, right? All right, so from here I'm going to go ahead and just start to put this, assemble my card. Now for this, I'm going to use my glitter glue just because if there is still any moisture on this, it won't, like regular glue can tend to not adhere if there's moisture, whereas this glitter glue adheres everything. And also the paper has buckled because it is a watercolor based paper and it's wet. So this will give me an opportunity to smooth it out. All right, and then this one, I'm just gonna line it up. I did cut it down so that it is about, I think this is a 4 by 5.25 card front that I am putting on this card base that will fold into an A2 size. So far, so good. All right, and I'm going to use pop dots on this again, just to add a little bit of something, something. These are relatively simple cards, really, when you think about it. Okay, and I have to line it up like this because, again, I am left-handed, and I just have to work sideways. And then that was way harsh. Is up next. And that's going to go on down here. Now, I'm going to show you a trick on what you can do to get rid of that if you have any overage right there, like I do with the S. I'm going to show you a trick. You can take your white Jelly Roll pin and very carefully draw over it. Boom! Totally fixes the problem. Let that first layer dry and then go over it one more time and you won't even be able to tell. It's also a trick that you can do when you're coloring with your Copic markers and you get outside the line. Just take your white Jelly Roll pin and go over the edges and that'll totally fix it. Okay. Now, I'm not done yet. Of course I'm not done yet, because what fun would that be? All right. So I'm going to go over it one more time. Now I want to take these these are, what are these? Are these Galaxy ones? What are these called? These are the Laura Galaxy gems. So I'm going to take some and put them down here. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 of these, just because that'll kind of eat up some of that space and make it look a little bit better, I think. 1. Okay, so next month I'm going to be I have been on a Ranger kick lately where I've been like, if you guys haven't watched, I just discovered like oxide mist. I mean, I always knew what they were, but I never played with them because I just don't like mist because they're messy. And I know that that's just crazy, but they were on sale at Hobby Lobby and I'm like, you know what? As a content developer, I really need to play with these, so I'm going to buy them, and I bit the bullet. So anyway, Tim Holtz saw that I don't like mist because they're messy, and so he saw, I think I did a live on what was it, Instagram or something, and he's like, I'm going to mail you a splat mat, then they're not messy. So I was like, oh yeah, or a splat box or something. So he did. He mailed me a splat box, and I've been just obsessed with those oxides now. So I think next month I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff with those. And then I also have like Ranger. I have Simon Hurley, a whole bunch of his stuff now I ordered. I love his stuff. Not a whole bunch, but you know, I mean, I don't know. I really just like a couple things. And so I think I'll play with those. And then I also have the Sugar Skulls from Tim Holtz that I finally purchased, and so we'll play with that. We'll make some Halloween stuff, and I have the Simon Hurley Christmas stuff, and so we'll play with that as well. Next month, we're going to kind of get into the holidays, even though it's September and it's still hot where I am. It's going to be fun, and a lot of people right now are already itching and wanting stuff for the holidays, and I totally get that, because when December rolls around, you want to be done with your cards, so you know, you kind of want to have that done now. I totally get it. And if you are interested in Christmas stuff, I did do a Christmas in July series on YouTube, so you can check that out for more ideas for that as well. And it was basically using your stash because the new Christmas stuff wasn't out yet. So there you go. All right, you guys, I'm not going to fiddle with that on air. So that is basically how you can create another kind of fun card with the, you know, pop culture theme. So these are the ones. This is the one I did as a sample. That's the one we did tonight. And then this is the one that we did tonight. And this is the one that I did as a sample. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I rambled a lot. I'm still kind of sick. Haven't been out much, so I'm probably a little bit buggy wanting human interaction because I haven't been out too much because I haven't felt good. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you consider doing so. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I always appreciate it when you share, and if you have any questions or comments, leave it down below. Those of you that join me live, thank you so much. And those of you that are catching on the replay, thanks for hopping or jumping in and checking it out. All right. Where those stamps saying from? Oh, yes. These are from Ink Road Stamps. Good question. Ink Road Stamps. And I have a link down below. If you're interested in them, you can use that link. And I believe you get 15% off your order, your first order. So it is this. So you can find them in my description box listed down below. So just scroll on down there and take advantage of that 15% off. I believe it goes straight through and it gives you the 15% off. You don't even have to enter anything. Okay, great question. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Catch you later. Bye.